From Waxahachie, Texas, this is Midwest Sports Saturday on a Friday because, well, Victory Bowl, that's why. And because we've never done one on a Friday before. We've done Thursdays and Sundays, but never Friday. We're here at Lumpkin Stadium as the Southwestern Assemblies of God Lions are going to be hosting the Olivet Nazarene Tigers in the Victory Bowl, the 2022 edition. I'm Joey McWilliams along with John Cookman, who I'm very glad to have sitting in with me. This is the first time, not the first time he's been on the program, but the first time he has sat this close to me while we're doing the program. So, John, thanks for stopping by tonight.
Man, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Joey.
Listen, I know the Champion Sports Network, Sagu Sports Network, a big part of what's going to be happening here in a moment. The Victory Bowl is being presented and being shown on the Sagu Sports Network, of which you are a big part, and I know all the folks here at Southwestern Assemblies of God. First off, I want to say, what time is it going to be and where can they find it quickly?
Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
7 Eastern Time is the way they build it, but you have to convert it, so 6 p.m. Central Time.
Okay. And then where do they find it? They find it online?
We would like everyone to go to the Sagu Sports Network YouTube channel and view it.
Okay, and I'm subscribed, so you should subscribe too, because
Yes.
That's why I wanted him to give that presentation, because if you haven't seen some of the work that's been done there, they do a fantastic job. I want to talk about that a little bit later on. Right now I want to talk about the Victory Bowl, because it is Sagu taking on Olivet Nazarene, and these are two programs that are no strangers to the Victory Bowl. Olivet Nazarene has been there 5 times previously, won all 5 of them. Sagu's been twice previously, 1-1, but it is the second consecutive year in which Sagu has hosted the Victory Bowl.
Yes, and I don't want to correct the host, but this will be our 4th.
4th, okay.
We've won 2 already.
2-1, okay.
We lost to Campbellsville up in Kentucky.
Okay, well, you know what? I need a better staff. That's what it is. Get my information.
Sorry about that,
No,
Joe.
you're fine, John. I need a better staff. So 2-1 then, and Olivet Nazarene 5-0. So again, well, the premise being no strangers to the Victory Bowl, and that is definitely certain. That's still valid.
It is valid,
okay.
and we are right here.
I'm telling
doing
you,
the Victory Bowl.
It's 47 degrees outside right now, and it feels like 42 according to the weather app that I have. I was visiting with Coach Heyman a little bit earlier this week. He said there were flurries where he was. I said, I don't think you're going to get flurries down if you come down this direction. However, it may feel a little bit like it.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. However, I did see the news this afternoon, and they're predicting flurries down here for around midnight.
Okay.
Just
we're
going to miss it.
still here at midnight.
I hope not.
I don't know about that. If we're still here, my family hopes I'm back at the house by midnight.
I bet, man.
But anyway, these two teams that are playing, I had a chance to watch Sagu play early in the season. And they were playing Arizona Christian, who, by the way, will be in the NAI playoffs. Those games tomorrow, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But in that game, Keaton Dudick, who I billed as being one of the top running backs in the country returning for 2022, really hadn't gotten started. I mean, the start of the year, a little slow. He started to pick up some steam then. But in this second half of the year, Dudick has just caught fire.
He really has, and one of the more he's a plus 1,000. I think he's in the upper 1400s now for the season.
Last I saw was 1477.
Okay, so that sounds exactly right to me. He got 930 of those in 4 games.
Yes.
So that tells you how hot he was, going back to your point, at the back half of the season. He was just unstoppable.
You know, the thing about that is, too, you look at that, 10 games, averaging 147.7 per game.
Yeah.
And starting off as, and you can't say, well, you might say poorly. Relative to what he's done, it was poorly. First game of the season, he had 18 carries for 19 yards. So not up to his standards. That having been said, what he did at the second part of the year and still averaging nearly 150 a game, that's an incredible run.
It really was. And the other thing that I don't see a lot of people mention when you're talking about Keaton Dudick, he can catch the ball as well. So he catches out of the backfield. He has 2 seasons of 2,000 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
And that's really, really impressive, especially at this level and in across the country in the NAIA especially. And he has put together a great season, back half even greater, I guess you could say. I would say the offensive line has really kicked it in another notch, and they're all on the same page, where it was a little bit of newness happening in the earlier part of the year. And if you roll back and you look at some of the footage, there's just a lot of running into each other, closing gaps, and he's not able to squeeze through like he did in the last 4 games.
That actually is a point I was going to ask you about, that offensive line, because it seems like that has been an area in which they've gotten better. You've seen more film than I have on Sagu, so you're getting to see the points to address there. And I think that helps all the way around, too, for the Lions, because it's helped Briley Green to evolve and improve this season as well. Absolutely.
I don't want to say Briley was a Jekyll and Hyde story necessarily. He's always had the talent. The talent has not been Briley Green's issue at all. It is knowing what to do under high amounts of pressure. And you saw him learn that each game. And Ottawa really, I don't think he'd seen anything like that against OUAZ. And then shortly after that, they had to play Texas Wesleyan, got shut down again. The offensive line came together, and there was a moment, I think, that just clicked for them and clicked with what Coach Ellis and his assistants were trying to do. And since then, it's just been a really good 5-game winning streak.
And and that
Solid.
they've just been tearing it up too.
Yeah.
And if the season then continues from this point, you know, if the regular season were to go a little bit longer, I think there's a lot to be said for a couple of the other teams in the Sooner Athletic Conference. There was a 3-way tie at the top of the SAC to close out the season. So many tiebreakers that were involved, and they changed with the last week of the season with a Langston loss, another Louisiana Christian win, a Southwestern Assemblies of God win, all kinds of things that were in flux there. I think there's a lot to be said about Texas Wesleyan season. Obviously, they have a lot to say about should they have been in the playoffs. Ottawa, just perennial power since they've come to the league, and really a lot to be said there. Of course, Arizona Christian going, but then Sagu is right there in the mix. Louisiana Christian, how in the world? They just sneak up on everybody, and all of a sudden now they have a fantastic season. Langston, unfortunately for the Lions there, just the last 3 weeks of the season, the last 2 years have been terrible for Langston. But the conference is really good.
The parity is amazing. So if you like drama in your football, it's full of it. And if you've watched Twitter at all with Sooner Athletic Conference players, coaches, fans, and I love it from a perspective that I'm in, you know, broadcasting, marketing, and those kind of things. It just creates the hype machine that you need. But in reality, there's a lot of feelings that got hurt because it's all so close. All these teams are so close together. Even though Langston ended out poorly, which they kind of did last year as well, they're still a really good team.
Oh, yes.
I think some injuries, key injuries, have kept them down, and they hit you when it mattered the most at the end, and that was unfortunate. But LCU, Louisiana Christian, now, man, they hit their stride. I think a lot of people didn't know some of the challenges going on in their program early in the season, which showed out on the floor, on the field, and they got it together. Wow, what a great team! So next year, I just expect more of the same.
It's a lot of fun to watch, and being based in this part of the country, of course, Midwest Sports Net, we try to do a good neutral broadcast, but I see more of the games personally here because I am based in this part of the country. So yeah, it's really fun to watch them. Here on Midwest Sports Saturday on a Friday night from Lumpkin Stadium in Waxahachie, I'm with John Cookman, and I know you have a broadcast to do, so I don't want to keep you too long, but you are more familiar with Sagu obviously have seen the program all year and for many years, based down here in the Waxahachie area. But you're going to see a pretty good Olivet Nazarene team today.
Yes.
And we talked about offense for Sagu. Let's talk about offense for ONU, led by Cameron Crouch, who is a dual threat.
He really is. And I have been scouring, trying to find some good footage on this team, this year's team. You can find a little bit on some of the past. You can see that this team has been well coached for a long time. They have a culture that is a high-class culture. It's a culture that is used to winning and playing hard. So I would expect nothing less than just some gritty defense. And like you said, Crouch, he's a gunslinger. Also, the little bit that I saw looked like he could be a tank of some sort. Like one of those guys that you think twice about tackling, because he'll put his head down and he'll lay a hat on you running forward and try to bowl you over. So he seems to be kind of a dual threat.
When you, by the way, I had a chance to visit with Coach Heyman and Coach Ellis. So find those videos on the channel, Midwest Sports Net, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe because it really does help the channel. Like and share the video. But the description Coach Heyman gave was he is a dual threat. He's more like a Tim Tebow than a Lamar Jackson. So
fair.
That's what we could be seeing tonight. I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, when I saw very little, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of a Phillip Rivers. Mm-hmm. Hard to bring down. He can get you yards with his feet, not necessarily primarily, but he can just make it happen. So I would imagine this is going to be a tough test for Sagu.
All right, let's transition really quickly to the NAIA football playoffs. And before we do, I'm going to give a shout out to Dordt. By the way, Dordt.
I saw that.
Men's cross country championship.
Congratulations.
Today, first championship for Dordt cross country. Congratulations to the defenders
for
that. And actually the first GPAC cross country championship as well.
Really?
So that's big for the program. Yeah. And
wow.
That's one of those big time conferences. And so that's a big deal to get there. Dordt defenders, men's cross country. Congratulations for a national championship today. Now back to NAIA football really quickly. 8 games going on tomorrow. The Sagu Sports Network has been live on Saturdays, if you will, with a bunch of scores, just constantly dropping scores up there. Is that going to go on again tomorrow? You're going to keep the scores? Can we stop by and see those?
That's the Champion Sports Network actually delivers that and distributes these scores.
I knew that because you got football then on Sagu Sports Network.
Yeah.
You're just a media mogul.
I wish. No, there's a need. We try to see needs and meet them, and there is no real general live media type of coverage that says, hey, here's the NAIA on the whole. And so we are working hard at trying to build something with Champion that will deliver more of a news outlet understanding in NAIA sports altogether. Right now we're in the middle of football season, which is hugely popular. And also shout outs to NAIF ball who really educate us on how things work in the NAIA football
friends
scene.
of the channel here too, John and Corey.
Yeah, man, those guys are amazing.
Well, the reason I say that is because we will have some scores from the playoffs tomorrow, and you'll be able to keep you updated at the very end. We'll talk about some scores, but you can see them throughout the day on the Champion Sports Network. CSN _ NAIA. That's where you find it on YouTube. And if you haven't already subscribed, you need to do that. Sagu Sports Network tomorrow, volleyball.
Man, it has been an amazing season. We have been busy because the postseason's not something you can plan for, you hope for, but you kind of plan for it, I guess. But you just never know when the games are. So we're hosting first round of the Final 48 teams in America for the NAIA Women's Volleyball Championships. And That will be Sagu's second time. Last year they went for the first time and lost. I believe it was Central Methodist up there. This year we get to host because, did I mention, they were undefeated.
You haven't mentioned that yet, and I was wondering how long you were going to bury the lead.
Man, we are proud as punch here. It's what Coach Moore has done, and these young ladies just have a engine like I haven't seen anything in 15 years of doing this. There's a special group of young ladies there, and I think they're going to go a long way. Not just because I'm biased. I am that. Yes.
Okay.
But not in the broadcast. But personal feelings.
I'm a neutral broadcaster.
Yeah.
I get that.
Okay. So even though we're called the Sagu Sports Network, we take pride in the fact that we offer an entertaining product that both teams can watch and not throw tomatoes at the computer or the screen that they're viewing it on. We really want it to be an enjoyable broadcast. NAI represents a special group of athletes, and they call it the champions of character. Mm-hmm. And man, we want to capitalize on that and highlight that as much as possible. So everything we do is centered around bringing the positive information about both teams that are facing off on the field. Yes, we're Sagu. We'll lean that way a little bit, but I think you'll find that it's a delightful type of broadcast.
I have watched the broadcast. I think you all do a good job. I think you're fair, and it's fun, and people from both sides can watch it, even if Sagu is a part of there. So hey, listen, I mean that. I enjoy the broadcast. So
thank you.
Sagu Sports Network YouTube channel. Find those. There'll be volleyball tomorrow. Will you also have basketball tomorrow?
We do.
Doubleheader too.
So 4 games in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's stretching us because we have a 90% student crew. Mm-hmm. The crew that will do this game, we're on about a 20-man crew, 25, somewhere in that range, I think. James Lex, who and he's a part of the Champion Sports as well. Mindy Hodges, they produce such a great product in this. I built it, but they ran with it, and it is what it is because we have great student leaders as well as some full-timers that are just all in on this, and we're proud of it.
And you should be. It's a fun watch. So I want to encourage everyone, 6 o'clock Central Time. Please tune into the YouTube channel for that. Thank you for watching this video here. I appreciate that. We will be on tomorrow night following the football games. We'll give you scores for that, and then following the first round of volleyball, we'll start to know a little bit more about how the volleyball field is shaping up when it goes from 48 down to 24. There will probably be a couple of upsets, but I know there are a lot of teams that we've been following this season that should be pushing on to pool play and heading up to Sioux City, so that should be a lot of fun.
That'll be exciting. Yeah,
John, should be a big game tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Exciting.
Man, this is
the first time
great.
I had a chance to be at a Victory Bowl.
Oh wow!
So I'm excited.
Yeah, my third time. Yeah.
Well, watch the broadcast.
It is. It's fun.
You will not be disappointed with the broadcast, so watch that. For John Cookman, I'm Joey McWilliams. Thank you so much for watching this here on Midwest Sports Net. And again, please like the video, share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We're growing. We just enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. And we appreciate you watching. We wouldn't grow without you, so thank you for being a part of it, and we're looking forward to a good game tonight. God bless you all. Have a great night.